What up, McCall?
What's up, Lee?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Malika?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Can't complain.
Damn, so Carlos did your hit on my hitter, bro?
Isn't that a given? Aren't you a brother, bro?
Word.
Alright, we just getting started early. Speak therapy today.
Started already.
That's some, I don't know.
So today we want to talk about.
This is a good topic.
It's a good topic because I've been feeling as an adult, just kind of like not overwhelmed, but feeling like I wasn't really prepared for all that being an adult entails. So I think sometimes I be getting in my bag like, yo, man, this shit is hard. So fuck adulting. And dating is scary.
Yeah, dating is real scary. It's hard to put yourself out, especially with like social media.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
It's a script.
It's a lot. I'm just happy to be here. You know, we had a little melee. I mean, we can. I don't know if we're gonna get into that, but you know, we had a little
break
time away. That fucking 420 episode, which was lit. Thank you for everybody who listened.
Shout out to
Thank you
everybody.
for all the questions. I'm gonna tell you, post show, that shit killed me. I think I don't know if I wanna. I don't know if I smoked too much weed, but I think I smoked too much weed in prep to being like uberly fucked up. And I think we was drinking Henny that day. It was a lot going on.
Yeah, we were I was high as hell.
I think this show is pretty much the underbelly is Henny and weed is what we do here. But it was just like that night was just different. Like that Wiz Khalifa joint.
Yeah, when I seen that shit, I was like, nope.
Not on duty.
Nope. And I still got smacked as hell. I only hit it like.
Yo, Chino definitely got contacted. He got contacted, smacked. That nigga was at work the next day, probably like, yo, I hope they don't piss test me, even though it's legal.
Nah, but some jobs you still can't
indulge.
It's not federally legal.
Oh yeah, because plus he got like a CDL. It's probably way worse than him.
It's not federal, so. You know.
You're exceptional.
You know, but being an adult, like. Being an adult, like bills.
Yo, shit different.
Bills are crazy.
It's paying yourself, and the crazy part about it is it's like no one's like it's like I just gave you money last month.
Word.
Why are you asking me for money again?
And it's like this thing versus like renting, owning your home, what comes along with owning your home, and you know pretty much all the responsibilities are on you. As opposed to if you're renting, you're definitely paying beyond a mortgage.
But you're paying for the convenience of somebody coming in and fixing your shit.
Like if my shit is broke, like I could just call the maintenance.
Word. He got some, you know, I ain't
and then it's the frustration with that. The whole process of moving is like super daunting. It's like, bro, I gotta pack all this shit up. I done lived here 3 years, now I got my shit plus 3 years of more shit.
And then I gotta save up all this money. I gotta put on first month, last month.
And now they want that. Like they want 3 times your income. So it's almost like I just gotta fucking just.
Damn near impossible to move now.
Yo, the stress is real. Like when I gotta move, I'm gonna be like, ugh.
Just looking, and that's the thing. It's like, all right, I'm gonna just stay where I'm at, but then you become dormant.
Yeah, so you don't want that. But then like even going into your adulting with the relationship aspect, like when you're at that point where you've been living somewhere for so long, and then you take that next step to all right, let's get our own shit, something separate from what I have for myself. Or do you go ahead and go with moving someone in if you don't have maybe a kid or whatever like that? Like that shit is hard. Is that the next
nowadays step? With rent being what it is, having a roommate is fucking normal.
Yeah.
Because
I love
people really can't manage it. But then there's, shit in that living with, 1 to 2 other random people. They're your roommates, but
it's different. Like I think my roommate experiments was a little bad. I think for me I like living alone. Like I'm willing to pay the cost to live by myself, but the only time is like, you know what I'm saying, if I was in a relationship, I don't know if would I have to leave my house or leave what I'm staying now in order to get something that would be in both of our names, because then you get the ownership aspect of it. Like, say you're messing with somebody and the lease is in your name, she lives there, but then she really doesn't, because in theory her name isn't on the lease. So do you push for, when the re-sign comes, I want to be on it, or do we get our own shit?
Well, now too, and I don't know if this is like a thing, it's been a thing for a minute, but anyone over 18 is listed like an occupant, and they almost have like a responsibility. So it all depends on the situation. If you're dating somebody that has a better credit score, they have more of a rental history,
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be easier if you were just listed as someone occupying it as opposed to you trying to put your credit score on the lead, because that shit matters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If your credit score is fucked up, you're not really living in a lot of places. So that's even a thing.
Financial responsibility goes back, it's the old adage, and like I know it knows a little later on in the script, but like learning those good habits and keeping up with those good habits, because credit score is not a score, it's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's an approach. If you approach it incorrectly, you're gonna fuck yourself.
Yeah,
like
you don't have the financial literacy, like you weren't taught about finances, how to manage things. Like you could have money, but if you don't know how to manage your shit, well, you're fucked. Because you're just buying dumb shit. Like you're charging McDonald's on your credit card, so now you're paying 15-20% APR on a fucking
quarter pound of cheese. Does
you
you
know
have a 4 for 4?
That's Wendy's, but that's
we
just
kind of like bags, baby. We rich, $5.
And honestly, you always do this.
I got to.
Like,
I'm like Jordan. I break the triangle. Sorry.
But how it's supposed to work is you basically just use credit. Like my homegirl was telling me this shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jasmine. She was like, "Yo, I have no money in my bank account because I charge everything, and then I just pay off my credit cards like within the first month, and her credit score is awesome." Okay. And that's how like all these rich, like she has a savings account obviously, but she was like, for my checking account, like direct deposit straight to like I pay my credit card off.
That's fine. And
that's how you're supposed to do it. Like it's not supposed to.
Like we thought credit was like a bad thing. Like I remember when you get a credit card thing in the mail, moms be like, nah, throw that away, get rid of that, shred it, it might get your information on it. Taking a credit card was like thought to be a bad thing. I mean now we know, but I would say not even maybe 8 years ago you weren't thinking like that. You were thinking like.
But even then, like technically it is a bad thing still. Like if you think about it, because like there's always a chance that you can't pay it back. Let's say for example, like that's what I find crazy about houses. Like you lend somebody money to pay off a house for 30 years, and it's like you gotta basically that like people don't think about the fact that they're
in 30-year leases.
Exactly, like 30. Well, it's to pay it off, but it's still 30 years of your life that you gotta commit to fucking paying something.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
or you're gonna get your shit foreclosed.
Yeah, and it's like the way we grow up is like when we have money, sometimes like we may like use a credit card, but then when we have the money, we like, damn, I don't want to let go of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where the cycle starts, and it's like,
oh, it's vicious. It's vicious.
But that's why you need that literacy. You need somebody to explain to you how to effectively use
a credit card.
Yeah, and manage your credit. Because now, shit, by the time our kids are grown, it's gonna be like, bro, what's your like now it is like what's your credit score, but like. Even jobs, like certain job levels.
Won't hire, you can't get a certain
they're
job.
They're asking for you to do a credit check in your background check.
It's part of your background check,
yeah.
That's wild.
That shit is crazy.
I mean,
like you said, it's a lifestyle. It tells you a lot about the person.
I was gonna say, like, how do you even get to that point? Because I feel like if you're talking to somebody, you kind of fucking can tell if they're like, you can kind of see if they're fiscally responsible with shit, but then some people are good as hell at hiding that shit too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you see this person, it's like I've been guilty of it myself, which I heard this thing. It basically said if you like people who are middle class and don't have a lot of money, or like lower middle class, is because they buy a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Instead of instead of investments or like assets, things that are gonna make you money. We tend to buy a lot of things because we didn't have things growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially in the black community. Black and brown community.
Bro, and that's me all the time. And then what they said was look around at the things that you bought and think about what can you sell for more than what you bought it for. Like almost nothing. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like a thing where like for some reason it shot up in value or something like that. But most of the shit that we buy, we can't really even resell it for what we got the money for. Exactly. So it's like it's a loss regardless. But
I make some money on these Funko Pops.
But not anything crazy. Like it's not about to send you to the moon. So do you think like, and this is not to bash like single moms, but do you feel like there's a difference in being raised by a different mom, like by a single mother, as opposed to like people you know that have both parents in the household?
I think so.
And I mean like more so like financially adulting.
I think what you lose is, especially for men and women. For men, I think they lose a little bit of how to be a man and how to be respectful to a woman and treat her properly. Like, it probably creates a lot of dogmatic behavior that niggas display because they didn't have maybe that male figure in the house or someone to teach them how to be, chivalrous.
I mean, not really emotionally, or like I'm more so talking about like
finance.
Being raised by a single parent and you have to manage time. Like, there's a lot of responsibility on them. So they're your only source of what an adult is, pretty much. So it's like, if you, like, mommy worked a lot, for example.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times where, like I love to write. I had, like, a passion for writing. But because my mom was working, and this is no fault to her, but that wasn't honed because she wasn't able to be there to be like, oh, you enjoy this, this is what we're going to do, we're going to put you in these programs. So it's just, like, stuff like that. Not really, like, how you deal with relationships, like, romantically or anything like that. Like, just literally being an adult and being able to do what you want to do and not do what you want to do, like dumb shit, but...
I can see that. Because it's like they got to do both. They got to provide and they got to nurture. And if you don't have both, like, either you're going to have a lot of love and empty bellies or no love and
even
full
if you
bellies.
have both, it's like hard to even, it's impossible to do both.
And somebody has to have the one job.
To replace a whole nother parent.
Yeah, somebody has to have that one job. I think we fall into the trap where we don't, especially maybe in our families, where you don't get that kind of that passion, that love, that, my mom didn't always go to my football games or my basketball games or my track meets. I don't think my mom ever seen me throw the discus.
Like the other day I was talking to you, Carlos, and you were like, yo, I'll hit you back. You were helping me with my Instagram hat, and you was like, yo, I'll hit you back and go pick my daughter up from school. Like, my mom didn't pick us up from school. Like, imagine how you're, like, if one day you missed. You know what I'm saying? Like... Nigga,
I remember, did you ever have, like, those concerts, those school concerts, and, like, mad people's parents would go and shit? Like, my mom can't come, she's working, and some shit. I'm like,
happened all the time.
I'm like, I can't let that happen. You know what I'm saying? With my son.
You know that feeling.
Exactly, and, like, people even see it, like, there's videos of, like, the kids' whole mood changing when they see their parents.
Yeah, it lights up. Like, it lights up.
For sure, yeah. Like, I'm not trying to ever let that shit happen.
That shit kills you.
Even I see it on her face. Like, when I go pick her up, like, she'd be looking to see who's gonna pick her up. If it's me, even if it's her mom, like, you know what I'm saying? She'd be like, like, you know what I'm saying? She lights up and shit. Like, but I love to see that. Like, one time I had shades on and a hood on, and, like, she couldn't, like, tell that I was there and shit. She was like, her face started getting all concerned and shit. I was like, I started feeling bad. I'm like, oh my god.
It's me.
She's about to cry and shit.
I'm not kidnapping her. But so you understand what I'm saying about, like, those effects.
Everybody want to be nurturing and nurturing and income wise. Like, you gotta have them both.
There's this shit. Honestly, I don't know. Like, not to get too off topic, but Suhaiti told me about it. My fiance, she was basically like that. There was this study. It was like a nature versus nurture study, right? And it was like essentially two. I don't know if they were twins or just like two. Basically like subjects for an experiment. And one of them was like, I'm talking about like, it was an experiment. So it was like one of them, they had them grow up like being nurtured in a suburb, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and third. And then the other one grew up in an urban environment, And like supposedly the results of that whole study are like classified, like you can't even look it up, but it's to say like there was a dramatic difference in the one that was able to, you know what I'm saying, grow up being nurtured and shit, versus the other one. Like it makes a huge difference. And like I know that my mom wasn't able to give like full attention because she had to work her ass off because she was a single mom. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes a kid is lucky enough to get that from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like an uncle or like another support system.
Yeah, I mean we got love in other like
exactly.
Uncles,
but a lot of times, a lot of kids are like, you see them like you know what I'm saying, with their parent in the store and like the parents being an asshole to the kid, and you're like, damn.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? They can't get away from that
out.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think for us we're truly blessed. I don't think we realized it until we got older, like us having a huge family and having all these different avenues where we can get that nurture from or that skill set from that my mom couldn't provide because she did hair at home. She worked 2 jobs during the day. Like my mom was a hustler. She went hard. I mean, but I think that's the blessing that we didn't even realize was there because we thought everyone got together on Thanksgiving and everyone hung out with their family normally.
Yeah, and now not having it is like, y'all niggas is whack.
Yo, that's so crazy. Like I
the
talk about it
dynamic
with,
is so different.
yeah, like I talk about that with my brother and sister all the time. Like, yo, what changed? Like something changed where, it was less important to be able to be around each other more. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause bro, like our holidays, like I had a condensed family. Like we were very tight knit. In other words, you know what I'm saying? But like, when we did like holidays and shit, fucking,
He's creeping.
when we did holidays and shit, everybody would show up. It was like a whole fucking event.
Like niggas had a
that
calendar,
feeling, bro.
Niggas had a calendar.
And, and then you're like, hold up, was it because I was a kid, or was it really like, nah, it was really better. Like it was more connected and shit. Like I think
it was this
social media fucked this shit up.
I think it could be that
because you could Zoom. I could Zoom you from your kitchen.
I can move over here. I could just call them. I could FaceTime them on a little thing.
Like going to my aunt's. Like my aunt used to have a cookout 4th of July. We go all the way out to like fucking Somerset, Bud Lake, whatever. And then my mom probably had Thanksgiving. Everybody at my mom's. Grandma on Christmas. Like it was on the calendar. Like, it was like a party planning committee, like fucking the office and shit.
You knew it was like a chain of events that was about to happen.
I can't wait this year for the fucking.
Nigga, I remember Christmas. I bought the Spizikes just for fucking Christmas, like the black and green ones.
Just to have the colorways.
Yo, there's only 2 colorways that are fire: the black and green and white and green.
Do you find it hard to like maintain a social life versus like handling your business? Handling your business like working, grinding.
It's a balance. It's really a balance. Like you gotta like, for me as an adult, like I like to turn up. I like to have a good time. I don't like to say no to myself. But in doing that, I have to make sacrifices. Like whoa, I can't do this week. But I'm gonna like go hard this week, pay all the bills I need to pay up, so I can have a little more fun next week, or have a little more extra spending money for next week. I mean, it's adulting. Like I remember I used to get my paycheck and do whatever the fuck I wanted to do with it. I don't get that anymore.
I feel like that's unfair though.
It is.
Like it's not saying that I need to be reckless and crazy and none of that shit, but it's just like make it even. Like make what I'm earning versus what I have to spend to survive. Like kind of comparable.
Yeah, the cost of living going up. It went up 6% this year. So
I was telling you literally. I think it was yesterday. I was like, yo. For some reason, when I start working, I can't, like, it's just so much harder for me to, like, focus in on, like, all the extra things that I want to do because work takes up so much time.
It's
all of it.
All of it. Like, I mean, that's 8 hours every day, guaranteed.
Exactly.
Not even travel, not even, you know what I'm saying? The wear and tear, like, it's 8 hours every day.
5 days.
And then when you have some shit where, like, I'm going to say, fuck it, I can't even look at my shit at my job, my phone and shit, it's like you don't even have the chance to, like, connect with nobody and then shit. Like if you got one of them shits, like it's like, bro, I'm basically in isolation until the fucking 8 hours is done. And then by the time I get out, I don't want to do shit. Like, you talking all day.
I was like this. Our jobs is like this. Get the picture swinging.
Anyway, let me just go back out.
He just got it. Yeah, he just popped his cherry, so he just getting used to the shit.
Shit crazy.
No free.
Yeah, customer service is real.
It don't matter if you're not sitting in front of them. The benefit of not sitting in front of them is you can.
And that's another thing. And like, if you think that if you open your own business, like I've seen it, it's some real shit. Like if you open you go from working 40 hours a week to working 24/7. Because if you don't put full effort all the time into a business and then it's not gonna be successful.
It's all about passion. Like you're not passionate about work. You would be passionate about something you're pursuing to better yourself. Like for me, like it seems like a lot. Like we spend however many hours, maybe let's say 30 hours a week on this shit, including like putting the shit together, getting it together, all the shit.
I wouldn't say 30, but maybe like good 15.
All right, so we'll say 20. Cause I work three fucking shows.
No.
Nigga, I work 3 shows. But with that, like you know what I'm saying, that constant grind, I don't feel like it's ever work. I feel like I'm genuinely happy doing it. Like I'm happy to put forth the effort. When it's work, and it's literally.
I'm looking at the clock.
I'm looking at the clock. I'm baiting my like I said before. We've had shows run till like 11, 12 o'clock, and not because we wanted to. It's just because it was so engaging and we were so much building. It was so much like things going on that interest you compared to. Yes, no, yes,
you can't have
stupid.
credit.
No,
it ain't free.
No, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's like that job versus career thing.
They got a short on Disney. It's like your heart is telling you to do one thing, like passionate shit, like get lit, but your mind is like, no, I got to do this so I survive. and
that comes into play where it's like what you can feed and give your kids. Like everybody talks all this shit, or was talking all this shit about how Will Smith and Jada Pinkett raised their kids, like, you know, through the BuzzFeed, and it was like they need to do whatever they want, they're free thinkers. But it's like, yo, imagine if you are at the space in your life where you can give your kids the chance to actually figure it out. Like, when you turn 18, the expectation is now you're going to start contributing to the household. But it's like, yo, I never did shit like this. Like, I wasn't prepped to do shit like this. Like, it just hit me one day. And it's like, how do you expect me to manage this so well? You know what I'm saying? It's just so many things that I feel like they don't prepare us for. And it starts as early as, you know, grade school, middle school. Like, there needs to be that transition where it's like, all right, this is fun, this is cool, but in the real world, it will eat you the fuck up.
I mean, that's your job. That's what you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Do better for what your parents did for you, for your children. Prepare them for that. Set up a line of credit for them. So when they go out into the world, they go out with a good line of credit. You set. You can get whatever you need. You just got to pay your bills. You got to know what it is. I mean, of course.
Because you're learning. You're like, because now I'm learning, like, the importance of a credit score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just getting denied for shit. And it's just something as silly as you not paying on the principal. You're paying on the interest. Like, shit that you don't read in them fucking contracts.
Nobody teaches you,
Yeah, you just sign up like, y'all niggas wanna give me $5,000? Shit.
Yes, I'm not gonna say no to $5,000. Like,
you sure?
I hate when they do that shit like video games. Like, I'm gonna buy this video game, but you telling me if I say no to this, I'm not gonna be able to play? I don't give a fuck what you're asking me to do.
I'm
going to sacrifice a goat? Where's the goat? Like,
no one
you know what I'm
saying? Where's the goat?
We
so,
can't.
You know what bothers me?
What's that?
About working? I work 38 hours a week. Not, like you said, not including commuting and all that other shit. And I be feeling like I'm never in my crib, yo. Like, I walk in my shit like, I pay for all of this shit.
I don't enjoy any of it.
Like, let me turn some motherfucking lights on real quick. Like, let me run some water. Like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Like, yo, do this differently. Like,
even going out, like, you still be working, then you, how you said, you feel like you barely go to your own house and shit.
Yo,
and then you want to go out, so then you're in your house even less because you don't want to go home when you got the chance to.
I shower, shit, and sleep here for the most part.
It's so sad. Like, you ever just sit in your space? Like,
on my vacation.
Sometimes I fuck with that shit though. Like, if it's just me by myself, I'm like, it's quiet. Like, I'm just like, yo, this is my time to just do whatever the fuck I want.
Word.
I'm zoned out.
Like, sometimes I literally just sat in the dark and just like, just mellow out. Some little Sade.
Yo, I've been starting, like, I started listening to like Rain.
Oh,
shit
yeah,
like that.
Oh,
one day,
like white noise and shit.
One day I got like smacked or whatever, and I was in the bathroom. I put on like some rainforest music, and I turned the shower on. Yo, I was in that motherfucker tripping like.
You hearing birds and shit.
A Colombian pecking.
Word. That shit was fire.
Was you about to do the cold just now?
I wish I could have did it. If I could have did it, that's how I felt. Like, it was just a moment just to like zone out because there's so much pressure.
We need that.
Facts.
But
I will write that down.
Fuck it. Whatever. Yeah.
Even just now, even yesterday, like. Was me and Joel, shout out Joel, was trying to get Mikhail to upgrade his phone or whatever, not to get too deep into it, but we was trying to tell him you bust your ass, like might as well just do it, you know what I'm saying?
You deserve it. You deserve an increase on your bill.
And I hate that shit too. Another thing is I hate how it's our generation, because I read something that basically the generation after us, they don't give a shit to call out. You ever gonna call out and then you fucking start getting the sweats, like your stomach start turning, you're like, oh my god, yo, you know what I'm saying? Even if you have every right to call out.
Word.
You know you're gonna be fine. Yeah, everything's good. Nah, you still be stressing. I hate that shit. I hate that we're programmed. You know what I'm saying? And the jobs will really reinforce that shit.
It goes back to what the bro was talking about. That shit is energy. Like, by the time that money passes through them, that energy is turned down.
Yeah.
It's not even we don't even look at it as money anymore. We look at it as the tokens to pay our bills.
They're different. They're like, I live in the street. I live with people. I'll go on an ad and fucking just have a random ass.
I'll get a room.
Word,
what?
Nah.
What?
I need private
be mad fine with that shit too.
Yeah,
That's your plan, bro.
So I'm just gonna move to Cali. I'm just gonna have a fucking roommate. I just met him on
That
Twitter,
and then be surprised when it doesn't work out.
My nigga, I just watched this shit. Like some nigga Gary something. Also, this nigga killed like 21 gay niggas. Or like 33 gay niggas. He was burying these motherfuckers in his basement, and he knew where all the bodies were. Like after
and
like.
then the cops. That he invited the cops in, right?
Yeah, he was like, he
then,
told them the whole story. Shit was on Netflix. Shit was wild,
yeah,
bro. That's why I was watching that shit. I was like, yo, man, this nigga.
So he just got tired of killing them?
He was just like, he didn't think he was gonna get caught. He was like, yo, I'm gonna tell him what's good.
The cops started doing an investigation, and then he saw them outside, and he went outside, and he was like, oh, come on in, let me fucking like cook you something or some shit like that. And then as they were there, they smelled fucking rotting flesh. Body. Yeah, and then they fucking got a warrant, and they were able to go. I'm like, wow.
This nigga, I think one of the killers had a ticket from him, from someplace he worked, and that's how they put it together. So the smell in that one little ticket. Without that, they would have never even caught that nigga. Dead bodies all up under the shits.
Wow.
You know what I mean? White people, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, not white people.
It's white men usually are the serial killers. That's what I'm saying.
There we go.
Off the fucking rails we begin.
No, but that goes kind of coincides with not being nurtured. You know what I mean? He was probably alone a lot. He probably showed hella signs of being a fucking psychopath.
Nah, he was like, they said he was like, his mom's was like very like loving, and his dad was a raging alcoholic, so he'd get drunk, say some shit about him, say he's not a man enough, but
nurturing.
He had no nurturing.
Exactly. Even if your mom is loving and somebody that you look up to be, you know, like, you know how you feel about your dad.
Yeah.
If they're in a positive light. So if that turns into hatred and you have nobody to really fill that void, you start doing psychopath shit. Or you just grow up
like Kingpin.
Or you just grow up hardened, like you grow up different. Like it's not like you have, you know.
I feel like a lot of people in our community, like they don't grow up ever feeling like that shit. Like I've been around friends and they'll be like, I'll say like, all right, bye, I love you to my sister or some shit, and it's like, you say I love you to your sister every time you hang up or something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, looking at me like it's weird. I'm like, to me, that's normal. But you don't realize that there's so many people, like, to even give a hug or, like, say I love you is weird as hell.
It's like that in our family. Like, my mom wasn't really like, I know my mother loved me, and I don't ever question that, but she wasn't like, have a good day at work, I love you, baby. Like, I don't say I love you. It has to be like a special occasion. Like,
no, now we started actually.
We're doing better, yeah. She really
like,
called me and told me she loved me the other day.
Yeah. After somebody I know, R.I.P. to Todd. The homie Todd passed away, but when I called him Cal, this man was like less than, I don't even know, he was in his 40s. I know he was, if he was 40, I'm not sure, but that shit was crazy. So I was like, yo, I love you, yo, because it's like, time is precious. And that's why, like, anybody I ever had an issue with, like, there's no issues here. Like, I'm not leaving with that word.
Preach.
Word. That's it. Like, I'm not trying to leave here with no ill, like, feelings or none of that shit to anybody, because that shit is just, that carries on to you.
Yeah, that shit is actually a whole weight. Like, I've always been like that my whole life. Like, I've had people in my life that kind of get annoyed with me because I won't, like, somebody could kind of like do me wrong and I'll kind of still go back and be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. I've always been that type of person. Like, I can't hold it that long.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's always just been, I don't know if it's like a good thing or a bad thing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's just you. That's just your makeup.
Yeah, like, but
because there's some people that's
really,
like that.
It's an actual weight on you. Like, that shit would, like, if I deal with any drama, especially at this older age, like, dealing with some stupid ass drama, that shit would make me tired and shit.
Yeah,
like, yo, why?
You can get physically sick.
Like, why am I dealing with this shit right now? Like, I'm too old for this shit.
I try and avoid all conflict by any means necessary. Like, yeah, light up. Like, I mean, not even, but even in like, cause I know, like, sometimes I get in my bag. Like, I'm really, I don't know. I can get a little moody, a little temperamental.
But even sometimes when I smoke, I feel like I think about it more on a more like complex level. Like, wait.
But sometimes that's good because
I think that's good. I think it's good to reflect. It's not good to be angry while reflecting. If you calm down, kind of like put together your thoughts, because then you can see it all perspectives. Because I know there's times where in the moment I think I'm dead ass right, And there's some parts where I felt like I was right, and there's some parts where I felt like, you know what, maybe you're wrong.
Yeah, I went like smoking a blunt has helped me realize like, damn, alright, look, maybe I came at it from this
retrospect is real, man. Hindsight's 2020.
Facts. That's the truth.
Like that fucking, remember that Cat Williams shit where he was like, man, I got some candles I've been meaning to use. Fuck that light bill.
Nah, not fuck the light bill.
Some shit, that was the joke.
I know, it was fun.
Alright, so I'm gonna kind of flip the script.
Let's get it. What you going?
According to the, you know, I like to give you facts. I like to give you facts. According to the U.S. Census in 2020, 45% of the population was single. So single being single, like nobody, divorced or widowed. Is that not crazy, y'all?
Well, they could have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and still be considered single. Yeah. Unless you're married, then you wouldn't claim single.
So it's skewed.
I can think it's skewed, but I think it's people don't want titles anymore.
I would look at that more like basically they're saying 45% of the population isn't married, and I wonder what that is compared to, you know what I'm saying, the past, because I'm pretty sure it was like at 60-something% is married or something.
Yeah, it was way more in the past.
It's a skewed stat, like one.
Like in the 60s, it was like 17%, something low as hell.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. Niggas back then, niggas stayed together. Like through all the shit. It's the communication that we had towards each other. Like you could FaceTime, you could do all this. And then divorce is expensive. So now people rather not have any titles, have a little, you know what I mean, little something on the side.
Have
and then
a baby.
just have all these things, but make it dysfunctional because that's a more comfort level. Well, I guess maybe even financially or just emotionally.
It's almost selfish.
It's like selfish.
Yeah,
I know mad chicks that be like, no, I'd rather just have a kid and raise them, and then like
pick the partner that I want.
Pick the partner, you know what I'm saying? And they be dead ass. They be dead ass.
Ebro from Ebro in the Morning.
Yeah.
He does that. He like, you know, basically picked the chick. Him and like a chick agreed. Not he picked her, but they agreed to have a kid together and shit. But they're not actually together. But they were like, we would be good together. And I'm like, I don't know necessarily how I feel about that, but it's like we don't really know because it's almost like a science experiment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's no. I mean,
like, we'll make a good kid.
Like we would be good to raise a kid together, but
yeah,
it's like then I wonder how the kid comes out because then obviously there's gonna be like shit where it's different than like let's say your average household where they're both home or the father comes home or the mom they both get home at a certain time and then, you know what I'm saying, like you're going in between two households and shit like I wonder.
I mean if it's already then they don't think it's dysfunction because they're born into it.
That's why it's funny you say that because I'm like, is it dysfunction though? Because like, you know, with my daughter, she stays with me mostly, but for school and stuff, so she goes to her mom's house on the weekends and shit. But then like, you know, I see kind of like the way she acts is like different when she comes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like they be acting different when they come back and shit. It's like I wonder is it better if I fucking is it better if that's not the case that she goes back and forth? Like, would it, you know what I'm saying? I wonder about that. Yeah, because with me, my pops wasn't around really, so it's like I was only with my mom really. So it's like I don't even know.
I mean, a lot of it but it's different. I think now, like I said before, people don't want to sign that paper. They don't want to pay for divorces. Yeah. They don't want that brand on them.
But if you're going into it thinking you're getting divorced, then you shouldn't be going into it.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't even make that step.
And which one has that mindset? Because if y'all both have that mindset, then most likely you're fine with not necessarily getting that document. But
and that's why the relationship.
And that's why I think
like becomes what it becomes.
I think maybe it's just me. I think people like weddings. I don't think I don't know how they feel about marriage. I've never been married, but it just seems daunting as fuck. It's like
nah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Now I'm coming from a different perspective. But before I do that, I had looked some shit up, and it said that there's an Unmarried and Single Americans Week. What the fuck is Ohio? We are blaming Ohio for this.
What is that?
It's observed during the third week of September. It's and then they have a National Singles Day. And that's celebrated on the last day of Unmarried and Single Americans Week.
Is that like a hall pass or like what is that?
That's some that all-inclusive
it's
shit.
just trying to, bro, this is, you know how you know that, I'm sorry if I'm being offensive, this is some white shit because it's trying to celebrate something that's some everyday shit, just trying to get a holiday for it, like,
It's singles week.
Unmarried and single Americans week. That just means you have a regular life and you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, why are we celebrating that shit?
They're trying to get an early Valentine's Day thing going or something.
Like, I don't
That's
know.
late Valentine's. It's in September. Valentine's. All right, so.
Depends on you look at it.
Whatever. Either way, that's some dumb shit. Columbus, Ohio, you taking the L for that. But dating is scary, yo. Like,
especially now.
You got Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Bumble, Hinge, whatever else, other shit.
Can you even go to the club and bag up a hoe these days?
I'm pretty sure you could.
But
Why are you gonna bag up a hoe?
That's what I'm saying. Are you gonna bag a hoe? Are you gonna bag something? Are you gonna bag something that's like worth meeting, worth taking home to mom, or is that person there?
We're eliminating there's a complete disconnect to organically interacting with people.
Bro, and that's some crazy shit too, cause it feels like right now I wouldn't be able to do this shit because I can't just go based off an app. I need to chill with you at least a couple times so I can see your vibe. You know what I'm saying? See if I can even mess with you. Because if not,
I gotta reach your chakras. I gotta reach your body aura.
Yeah.
What's your body aura doing?
Like that. But if you do the dating app shit,
all power to you.
But for me personally, I'm not gonna say never, but I don't feel comfortable with that. I want that organic shit. I don't know.
I think
where it's natural.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we're basically, if you have one of them apps, you basically posting an ad for yourself. If you think about it, it's I'm putting myself on the marketplace. Hopefully somebody fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's that ass making a fucking Facebook marketplace ad or a Craigslist ad or some shit.
We're going
all right, this is why I'm cool, or look, I'm gonna say this funny thing, and it's gonna attract you because I said this, and it's just
even that, me thinking of writing a bio.
Yeah,
I'm already I'm already signed out.
I like to wake up. I like to go to work. I sleep sometimes, smoke a little bit of weed, and watch some shows.
If you're really honest, this shit, mention your bio and shit.
I like to watch some shows.
Yeah, I be smoking this shit. I like mad shows.
Hella shows.
Sometimes I go play pool, but most of the time niggas go bowling, maybe on Sunday.
Word, and that's how.
I try to go to the beach at least twice a year.
Facts.
AC once.
All right. You always gotta drag it.
I was thinking about. I'm writing my dating app as we're going.
I don't know. Fuck it.
He's actually filling it up right now.
Exactly. You don't see him doing it, but he's doing it. Nah, but fuck that. I'm good. I'm good on the dating app shit. But I'll come to a point when I first, my bad to cut you off. When I first thought about marriage and shit like that, I'm whatever. But it's yo, I dead ass don't want to die alone. My kids are gonna be grown one day, and they're gonna have their own families. So God willing, if I live to see that moment, I don't want to be alone.
So I have a question. Do you believe in soulmate type shit? And I'll tell you why I asked the question.
I didn't, but I believe there is someone.
There's somebody for everybody.
Word.
All right. So do you think there's only a single person for everybody, or do you think
maybe not?
Maybe I think there's different maybe there's different avenues, but there's really the right person. I think there's probably
the person you want to spend your life with. I feel but when you get in a relationship with somebody, I feel why they stress communication so much is because somebody has to understand yo, I like chilling with this person because they do this. I like and it's not sexual, you know what I mean? But it's of the opposite sex. And it's for some reason people get this cloud of judgment and insecurity. And it's word. It's no, she fucking likes to, and when I chill with the same word.
I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say some fucked up shit, but I ain't gonna say it.
Nah, you should be accepting of that. Because if he's chilling,
I know exactly what you're thinking.
If he's chilling with his boy, it's cool. But if he's chilling with a female, it's raging and vice versa.
Come on, dudes can't
Yes, you can, yo.
Cat, you can be out with your friends. It can be a whole bunch of dudes, no chicks. Y'all probably at the pool hall. Y'all doing something at a sports bar. Your lady call and you pick up the phone. Is she here laughing or fun? What where the hoes at? How many bitches in your section? It's just.
It depends. I've been in both. I've been in a situation where my relationship was young. It was still immature, I guess you could say. And it was shit like that. Like anytime fun was involved, like how Kevin Hart said, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, hear fun, it's like it's a rap.
But
then as I've gotten older, it'd be like, all right, now she don't even like. It's like a hey, just a checking, like you good, and then like you know what I'm saying over time. So I think it depends on
the
the
text is
relationship.
different. The text is different. But even if she don't even think some cheat shit's going on, if she hears fun, her phone, her voice gonna be like it was.
Well,
if she'll be like it would be like hello, then it's like hello.
Well,
like,
this nigga,
yeah,
well, I was gonna say the
don't
reason I asked that.
Don't do that.
All right. So the reason I asked that is because like one time one of my boys was like, oh, like he's like, I feel like basically there's been multiple girls that I lived with that I could fucking live with for a long ass time, and I'm like,
that's a lot.
and to be real on some shit, like my daughter's mother, like we got along very well. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have seen myself like. In other words, it was easy to see myself like getting along with her for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And like, basically, it made me think like I don't really think it's like a thing where there's one person. There's multiple people that you could fucking, because it's kind of like basically who doesn't piss me off for like a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really boil it down, like who shit or who does, but they look this good or they do this good or they love me this way that I'm just gonna fucking deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I see it's worth it to deal with it. Like that's basically what it is. So. That's why I asked it, because I feel like, I'm engaged and all that shit, but at the same time, it's like I'm not trying to play myself like it couldn't be impossible that there would be somebody else on this earth that either one of us could vibe with that it would work out. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be realistic.
I think you gotta be flexible in any relationship. You gotta because everybody's different. Like you know what I'm saying? Whatever you didn't like about that person, there's gonna be something you don't like about that person no matter what. But you gotta learn to live with it, and you gotta learn to like you said before, communication is key. I think you can make somebody your soulmate if you're willing to put the work in. It's like anything. If you're willing to put the work in, then you'll get the results you want. If you're not willing to put the work in, let it burn.
But it's hard now.
It's real hard now.
I feel like it's just so different. It's so different.
You know what's another thing too? I feel like with this whole dating app shit, like you ever heard of NRE? Is like new relationship energy.
Yeah.
Like, you could fuck around and like be vibing with somebody, but then y'all could be together for mad long, and then you meet another person and like this energy is popping and shit, and then like almost like the term leave an 80 for a 20. Like you might start fucking around with this shit because y'all vibing right now, and then it's like it's so easy to do that.
Leave an 80 for a 20. You went deep on that.
You know, it's so easy to do that nowadays that people just jump around like Rafina actually kind of said it where it's like it's just an argument. As soon as this argument, like fuck this, I don't need to deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like 120 bitches emailing
exactly.
me.
And I just got a haircut. Did you know what the fuck you doing? Do you see this beard? What's wrong with you? Let the smoker turn on.
Nah, but that's facts though. Cause it's mad. It's just like you said. It's like ordering a shirt. It's like buying clothes.
But I think, and a lot of these dating apps are really like women friendly. Like automatically women gonna get more attention, especially on like the social media, cause it's kind of social media-ish.
They're the fucking what do you call it? They're basically the product if we think about it.
Like the ladies are the product. Like it goes back to why some clubs will let women in for free because it'll bring more dudes, and dudes will buy drinks, and dudes will buy drinks for women. Cause you know what I'm saying? It all goes back to the PUSSY.
Well,
I don't mean to go there, but we did.
Nah, that was
Pussy's expensive.
Nah, that was a good wrap up.
Oh, that's how you. Oh, where we at?
It's our time.
That was beautiful.
It was. Thanks, bro. Follow us on sneak_therapy, Dolphin Talk the Pod, bigger_than_kicks with a Z, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Music, Amazon, Google, all that, all them DSPs,
YouTube TV,
HudFlowVera,
Facts.
Facebook, HudFlowVera, TikTok, HUD_flow. Everywhere. Shout out to team. Everybody did a good job today. Visual and audio.
And the fucking support on the last 420 shit.
Yeah,
that's what was dope.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. And on the fucking last pod that we had done on Dolphin Talk. Got a lot of support. We appreciate y'all. Japan came up as one of our countries.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to folks in
India,
Japan. Yo, send me some parts, baby.
Japan, India, Australia, Canada, and United States. We in like over like like 17 states now, I think.
That's fire. Keep listening. Tell a friend.
Thank you.
Sports and Black Business. We gonna get it popping for you. And watch us on YouTube too.